one, why not now?
And the Lee Sin gone as well. So this was the power pick we were kind of talking about when the Nidalee gone, and not surprised to see that go after his performance in the last game. DMO though, Varus, you're going to have that at Aphelios. I was wondering if you would, and the Galio banned away. So we'll get to see what they decide to prioritize here. Jomong has gone back towards that Ashe. It's actually his most played at the moment.
Yeah, hasn't played a game 1 or 2.
So we'll get that once again for himself. On the opposite side, though, I imagine we will start seeing stuff like potentially Kaisa, but more so going towards an Ezreal and working into stuff like this, and then picking up an early game jungler here for Xiaopeng as well, and getting him onto something that he'll be more comfortable with.
Maybe the AWP priority instead, something that has, risen back to the top. 80 carry, jungle support, usually what we see here.
Yeah, so there is an argument here for Xiaopeng to hold off on that. Well, pick up the 80 carry, hold off on the jungle pick, and then try and get a counter matchup, or at least a good matchup for yourself here on that third selection, so that then you can either ban away counter picks or two. Okay.
Yes. Oh, I was asking in our little break for something new. The Jhin player in the league is SMLZ. Shubin's a brand new 80 carry, and he pulls out the big guns.
And it's interesting to see, because it is still slightly utility style 80 carry, where you are opening up with the curtain call, providing slows, playing at a very long range. So trying to work against this Ashe, who also provides some of that utility. But curious to see now how this does go forward, because it's not a matchup that we've seen for a very long time.
No, we have seen it once in the summer split already from SMLZ, and in spring as well. But seeing it here for Shubin is a big surprise. So you built a slow auto-attacking 80 carry. We'll talk about that shortly, as for WE, they are going back to essentially game 1.
Yeah, and I think this is where we're going to go, Xiaopeng, what's the plan here? Because we do see Beishang back on his graves. You know that if Xiaopeng goes for these early plays, Beishang has the opportunity to try and go for an aggressive invade. And it looks like Xiaopeng, kind of caught off kilter here, is going to go back towards the Trundle. But we've seen, look, if you go for any of these sort of lane plays on this Trundle, Beishang will slip in and steal away a bunch of these camps.
The matchup we saw in game 1 where Xiaopeng fell behind 200 CS at the 30-minute mark. So, change in the 80 carry. I'll see what changes with the support. WA have once again picked up the Karma. We know it can be flexed. We've talked about it. Just because it happened in game 1 with Teacher Mar mid doesn't mean it will happen in game 3 as well. But DMO assuming it will with the Brom ban going up here.
Brom's going to be taken off the board, looking, I believe, more so that then they can try and go for, well, getting rid of that annoying lane, which is Ashe and Brom, because the double slow can be such a pain to deal with. But I think as well, getting rid of something like a Leona or a Thresh, that is going to be the Thresh that just provides this heavy engage tool, is going to work out wonders for them. I still think WE can go towards Missing's Leona here, and you still have that great setup where you can get onto this short range 80 carry, unless Yui wants to pick this up for himself here on this rotation.
Jhin and Zoe feels really good, by the way. I'll be curious as to what you partner the Jhin with, but usually in the bottom lane, something that can give you an easy... oh man, it's been so long. The W is...
Haymaker? Oh, sorry, the Deadly Flourish.
Deadly Flourish, well done.
But I liked here because you've got that combo between set with the, set up for the Deadly Flourish. It also gives time then for the set to get behind the opponent and showstopper backwards. So you've got a fairly nice combo in this bottom lane for DMO.
See if they partner. Yep, there's the Zoe. I mentioned how nice it is with the poke and then the curtain call as well alongside it. Makes it really easy for one another because, of course, the curtain call slows the trouble bubble there to give you a still target. But fun interaction we'll talk about with the mid and 80 carry picked up. So we've got a lot of space to be created for these long-range poke champions. I'd be curious how DMO use this comp.
I believe a lot of the handshake from Morgan is like, good job, great job, happy with it, yeah, great, nice to see you. But yeah, I think here for WE, you've got this super heavy engage tool that can be used to get onto DMO. So at least DMO, look, you got the Orin, but you are playing at this longer range as you talked about, where you're trying to use the Zoe, trying to use the curtain call from the Jhin, and then you've got that speed up to try and finish off the low health members, or at least pick people off. Whereas when I look over towards DMO, or WE's side even, they're looking more again towards having Morgan try and be that big beefcake in the front, using this Karma to speed up the engagements into fight, fights and using the Ashe and the Leona as these heavy engage tools. So I think when I'm looking at both these squads, it very much is going to be a case of how DMO can avoid this engage. Because when you look towards the curtain call, if it's like up close and personal, you've still got a lot of things that can disrupt that, like Jomong's Enchanted Crystal Arrow. Solar Flare can make that a little bit of a nuisance to deal with as well. So it is going to be a very back and forth game with similar enough power spikes as to when both teams get strong. But WE definitely with this Karma and the double AD carry should scale better if they can get into fights. It's just that the engagement on the side of WE is so strong in these fights.
I just love the power of pick there as well that you have with Ashe, you have with Mordekaiser to single out a fight. Game 3 has a Jhin in it. That's all I care about as Mafia Grave. We still call it. Yeah, it's 10:30. It's Mafia Grave still. And then we go to Crime City. Change that. Have you seen? Did you see the new animation this morning?
I did not.
It was on Twitter. Actually, looks pretty cool.
Ooh.
I think they've done a really good job with it. Just I'm always down for like old skins being updated. You know, just the graphics on them especially. I think a lot of the like also remade skins for Fiddlesticks was a good example of how they like Surprise Party and how good they made that look.
It is. I love Surprise Party. That was the one I was gonna say.
I questioned what the skin was yesterday. Shout out to Munchables who helped me. He said this is High Noon Ash.
Yeah.
I thought it was like something totally different.
You might have got it confused with Overwatch Ash. They're
yes. Yes, a different game entirely. Oh, I don't think normally we'd be allowed to say that, but why not, hey? Just throw it out there. We're confident in our game. Our game's still alive, our scene's still alive. Sorry. Yeah, I'm sure a couple of people like that one. Well, I'm sorry. I actually used to play a lot of it, but I'll digress. I'll move forward before I get fired again. That's an early little face break the bottom side. It's a Portal combat going hand in hand.
Yeah,
Shield of Daybreak.
And surprisingly, Missing doing a pretty good job here, but with Yui starting that face breaker, it means the Haymaker return damage isn't quite there. Level 2 will be hit first by WE here as well, so you can see Yui playing a step back, not wanting to aggress and try and push his luck with this supporter combat.
I'm just looking towards Shubin. Of course, Fleet Footwork the most common. We don't really see the Halo Blades Jhin much anymore, but seeing the Nimbus Cloak with Adaptive Focus, just a bit of confidence in the extra damage when you are above that 70%. Also note that Jhin gonna go fast this game with the Nimbus Cloak. Plus
Very quick. Yeah, cleanse. I mean, and you get the speed ups off those crits.
Yep.
So yeah, it's gonna be a very fast Jhin. But be curious to see now how they want to try and play this. So especially with the absolute focus that you talked about, you're relying heavily on Yui being this engage tool, setting up, as we talked about, Face Breaker into Deadly Flourish, playing at range as well with the ultimate. So I think when you do hit level 6, this bottom lane combo of Shubin and Yui can do a lot of work. And if Jomong doesn't have these cleanses, doesn't have his flash weapon available, I would imagine Xiaopeng can make some nice plays down towards that bottom side.
But meanwhile, he's in the top lane where Morgan is really paying the respect, thinking that the jungler's going to be up here. There was a ping laid down. Just also on the note of Shubin's Jhin, you've got a Mord on your team, or excuse me, an Ornn as Yui being engaged on. Good trade back here from Shubin, but Yui will have the HP regen as a bonus, missing at half health himself. I was going to say, you have the Ornn on your team, and you're an Infinity Edge user. So Molten Edge first for Shubin.
Yeah, we're just going to be pretty nice for Shubin. Good job as well by Yui there on that bottom lane trade to hit the true damage spot on that Haymaker. So really turning that damage around onto Missy and bypassing a lot of the extra resistances that you can't get. Morgan.
Oh, Morgan, he thought he's going to be okay up here, but he was spotted out going into the brush. We need context on this because Morgan is just dead, but can he take Chalitza with him? Needs one more Q, but won't fly it. And once again, Xiaopeng sets up first blood.
And it is surprising that you see him go towards this top side. Like, in theory, you kind of just leave Chalitza there. He's Ornn. It doesn't really matter if you get him ahead, but having Morgan step behind will work out pretty nice. Now, Beishang trying to answer mid.
Wants to find a response kill. Twyla burns the flash immediately. Beishang walks in. Tether doesn't connect. While we look in the bottom side, it's time to Jhin. Two-man face breaker dodging away from the Deadly Flourish. Ignite down. Missing ticking down. But it's Yui who dies first, and Shubin out of bullets. So WE's bottom lane wins out.
Yui tries to get the stall points there with the flash haymaker, but it is not enough, and a good flash away from missing to dodge to the deadly first.
Now it's time to reload, but Shubin turns around. Jomong flashes out of the way, wants to make the play. And Shubin flashes in response. Jomong acting confident.
And I mean, Shubin is playing with fire here because Jomong is feeling it right now. They do get the kill. Still, be careful.
Shubin wants to get that fourth shot. Imagine if he had flash to do it. Uh-oh. Here we go again. Morgan doesn't have ulti. The dive consists of Twyla in the mix as Beishang hovers around, but this could just be to secure turret plating for Chalitza. As Missing has gone for a bit of a roam, and you know what? Now Twyla's caught on out. Shield of Daybreak was used. Teachima teleports in, flashes in, wants to tether down, and Twyla burnt his summoners before. 2 versus 1. Even though it's slow, the damage enough to give Teachima a kill.
A nice roam from Missing off of that play. Doesn't feel the need that he has to get down towards that bottom lane very quickly because Jomong had just gone for the recall, and they make that play mid. Now they can shove in and lose Twyla a good amount of this CS. Yui will try and hold it, but will get poked underneath if he tries to.
Well, WE fighting fire with fire here in the early game, with Xiaopeng confidently hovering top. And I have to say, this is much more exciting early game, because game 2 was very much about the mistakes top side of WE. But this game, you know, this keeps happening. We've got focus here, Chalitza top side. And good timing from Beishang. Xiaopeng's here as well.
And you can see Chalitza is going to keep walking forward. He knows he's got Xiaopeng there to help as well. Morgan wanted to try and get some help in pushing that wave out, but won't quite be able to, but that wave will collapse now. And Chalitza does have level 6. You know there's no flash on Teacher Mat. Potential here to try and make a play mid.
See, pings are going down. I do want to talk a lot about the bottom lane, just seeing the Jhin and a new pick in the LPL. But Shubin is down CS by about 10. That should be enough when this wave eventually pushes in. He's also down a level, but now catches back up. So not really too much of a CS discrepancy, as the Dancing Grenade will help pick that one up. But Jomong playing super far forward in this lane. Very aggressive and in the face of the Jhin set.
And you can see he's playing a lot of respect towards Ashe in this lane. Going towards that Fairy Charm, give him a bit of more of that mana regen to clear out waves using his abilities, but also looking at those Boots of Swiftness to reduce the slow effectiveness. But we'll need to try and move across here to support Xiaopeng, or this blue buff will just be gone.
Xiaopeng making his way down. WE grouping up the Zenith Blade. Yui thought, okay, I'll take them, but that's not the play, and Shubin probably upset.
I think there might have been a bit of miscounting coming in from Yui there, where he's like, I can take them, this is where we're in an even fight, but Twyla's still mid, still 3v4, and looks like Beishang once again contesting on towards this blue buff.
Xiaopeng did this, but this time it's in his jungle as the Enchanted Arrow was close. He'll secure the blue buff, but now has to walk away. Blast Cone used, and DMO get out with the buff, but the pressure from WE sets up for Dragon.
We'll set up for Dragon. We'll also set up for Teacher Mat in I'd say about 2 minutes time to start making more plays. Because with blue buff going towards Xiaopeng, the push power Teacher Mat will have when he picks up his own blue means that Twyla won't be able to clear these waves as effectively, and you kind of lock Teacher Mat to start making plays down towards this bottom side.
This is another game where Teacher Mat set up with early kills on the Karma. And what happened in game 1 is he got his 2 items really, really early on. The rest of WE flourished. So do we rinse and repeat? Xiaopeng going to be spotted out doing Rift Herald. Pings are coming up, but it's Yui and Twyla who make the move first.
Jomong's still in this bottom lane, so it looks like no contest will come in from WE. Looking to trade it for turret plate instead on the Ashe. And I think that's the right call here. They were just a bit slow on the move. Shubin had already gotten into position. And with no Enchanted Crystal Arrow and Ashe, you're not going to be looking for these engages anytime soon.
At least you've got an AD carry who has Swiftness boots first, right? So he's going to be back down after only 1 bit of turret plating for Jomong.
And a support.
Yeah.
They're matching,
the Swiftness
you know?
duo. Yeah. The 180 carry that, you know, obviously doesn't build Berserker Greaves, but, you know, movement speed telegraphs into... Oh, it's been a while since I played Jhin. Is it the attack speed? Because everything translates differently.
Yeah.
Attack speed turns into movement speed turns into such and such, yada, yada, yada.
Yeah. I'm trying to remember off the top of my head. I don't think the attack speed does it. I think it's more the... So your crit turns into more movement speed. Your attack speed turns into more AD. And I don't know.
It's the musical chairs of AD carries. All right? Right.
I think you got you covered. I think you just get more movement speed off of your crit, and then when you crit, but also how much crit you have, and then your attack speed turns into more AD. I'm pretty sure that's the
I got
combo,
you, sir.
but we'll double check. I could be wrong. It has been a while since we played Jin, and it's been a while since I read up on his stuff.
I mean, it's just been a while since we've seen Jin in a competitive environment. Again, SMLZ Spring, SMLZ also Summer, but a champion that a lot of the time when it was picked up here in the LPL was very specific compositions. We've seen it paired with something like Morgana as well, like you would with the Caitlyn. But here in this game, alongside the set, well, Yui hasn't been doing as well. Early trades in lane that came through and looked pretty decent, but Jeomung and Missing Synths have found some really big windows in this game. Sitting on a kill, sitting on some momentum here for the whole side of WE.
DMO's bottom lane has hit that level 6 point though, where they become super strong. Same as with WE though. Obviously you've got those Solar Flares and Enchanted Crystal Arrows up and available, but hang on.
Oh no. Oh no. Oh, 16 health.
That's sad times all around. But it does mean, again, WE will have control around this bottom side. Makes it very difficult for DMO to try and make these plays happen with Yui, with Xiaopeng coming down as well, because honestly, you want Xiaopeng to have some control over River. I'm surprised Shubin's playing this far up with that Enchanted Crystal Arrow available, because he can be jumped on very quickly and burst out massively fast.
He's a Jin, you know what that means. He dances like a flower in the dawn. I'm sorry, my imitations are not very good.
I feel like you suffer from the same problem as me with an Irish accent, where it's really difficult to do imitations because the accent kind of finds its way in there whether you want it or not.
As top side, Morgan is a Maud. This matchup gets very fun when we start seeing Call to Forge Gods and the Death Realm come out.
I'm curious to see where we're going to see this Rift Arrow come out, though, because at the moment, it is sitting in the pocket of Xiaopeng. It's about 3/4 of the way done. I imagine he's going to try and get that in towards the likes of Twilight or Shubin. But at the moment, he's not really having an opportunity to. He's being shoved in pretty consistently, and actually, as I say that, looking to see if he can catch out Beishang to stop this pressure coming through from the Graves.
Kind of wish you had the Hex Flash, but still has the real Flash. Spotted out in the ward now. And it's a waste of time as Enchanted Crystal Arrow might turn it around, missing with the Soul Flare, nails him down. TP as well, Beishang on top. And WEC say it's our buffet, with Morgan making his way down as well. DMO countered.
And again, that's that Rift Herald not being used. It's almost completely gone now. They won't really have a chance to set this up properly now for any of these lanes. So that win is going towards WE as well.
As collateral damage is available. One more auto and Beishang. Oh, he misses it. Some fancy footwork. And Shubin only just makes it out alive.
This is not going well for DMO whatsoever. Beishang once again on his Graves, putting down way too much pressure for DMO to deal with. They will be able to get a lot of these plates on the bottom side. And don't forget, when we went for that trade on DMO's side for the Rift Herald, they traded that for turret plates already onto Jeomung. Not having that opportunity to answer with the Rift Herald now really hinders that turnaround.
As Yui comes back in, the Ignite's been dropped on down. DMO want to force this a little bit longer. Still has the Haymaker, but Beishang has no mana. Xiaopeng flashes in his way. It's called the Forge God. Will help nail that one down. Chilita won't get Jeomung. And can WE turn it around? Well, probably not. Oh.
Looking towards this dragon anyway. You just killed Beishang, so Mountain Dragon will go the way of DMO. Again, though, Morgan's on this top side. He can clear out and push in towards that turret, so get a turret plate for himself just before they will drop in 40 seconds' time. Looks like Twilight's trying to go up to dissuade him of that fact, but it's going to be too late.
An interesting game to finish the series.
It feels like, again, where WE are just reading what DMO are trying to do and just counteracting it better. Yeah. And a lot of that is stemming from Xiaopeng is the player that DMO revolve around. I know we've been looking at Shubin looking great, Twila having some moments, Chalitza getting MVP in last game, but everything stems from Xiaopeng setting up these players. And when Beishang gets his hands on Graves, and you know how well WE can play to support Beishang on these evades and putting pressure onto the enemy jungler, it just nullifies what Xiaopeng is capable of doing, and then DMO as a whole begin to suffer.
Curious to see how we go to this mid game, because turret plating's just fallen down. We've got next Cloud Dragon coming up, and it's a Cloud Rift. I wish it was like old Cloud, because the Jin would be super happy. imagining getting all that movement speed. But the other thing is, he uses the curtain call, and remember the Cloud Rift comes in after the channel.
Yeah.
So he'll shoot all his shots, and then he'll be the fast.
The fast.
He will literally be the fast. So I'm waiting for that with the Nimbus Cloak Jhin.
Yeah, and I mean, look, that's what you kind of want as Jhin, right? Because oftentimes you end up being a little bit behind the play because you've got that curtain call, so having that ability to catch up to the play will be nice and dandy for him. However, WE still in control, still working towards this Rift Herald. You're going to see Morgan coming down towards this side of the map, and unfortunately, with the way that this game is going, it doesn't look like we're going to see particularly much from Shubin, and could be the second time that Jhin has handed an L in summer 2020.
We will see. Teachema almost getting caught out, missing in position as well. DMO still want to go deep into this bottom side jungle. Twyla was ready to roam on up while Beishang gets a Herald top side, and pings are going down. He's going to get the turret.
Gonna put a whole bunch of this play in towards Morgan, who will happily... Actually, I wasn't sure if they're going to use it, but it looks like Beishang actually not sure himself if he wants to stay on the map or not, especially with so many members towards mid. It looks like he may try and give a dig out towards that position.
All right, missing. It's the portal. These guys love doing this. Jomong has arrow. But
it's brave for missing as well, because, I mean, when I think of Leona versus Set, Set is geared to do damage, but missing's like, I don't care. I'm just going to keep battering the shield into Set's face.
Beishang back topside though, and our camera's stuck here because Beishang has been lingering top for a while now. He has the Herald and might even be able to force the inner turret. Pings are still going down. Beishang thinking about it, but actually going to back away.
So we will be looking to see if a better Rift Herald usage can come out from Beishang than we saw from Xiaopeng earlier on in this game. And I think that, well, it's looking fairly obvious that mid lane is going to be the port of call. Try and shut that one down. You can then have Morgan, who is pretty far ahead of this Ornn, at least from the turret plate he picked up, and then also the gold from that structure as well. So I think they just have Morgan play bot, open up mid lane turret, and then you can start utilizing these extra teleports and stuff that you have on WE side to try and make some more of these plays that have worked for them in game.
Karma with 2 items as well. You got the Blade of the King on Jomong. It's been sitting there for quite a while. And Shubin also has just picked up Infinity Edge. Luden's on the side of Twyla. Because
I don't play AD carry enough, seeing the agility cloak still breaks my brain a little bit, where I'm like, Infinity Edge, I was like, no, now builds into Zeal. You gotta mix that up in your head.
True.
It's been so long that I've just played with agility cloak building
just,
into only
always IE, right?
Yeah.
It's kind of crazy. I miss there's no gauntlet in the game anymore, is there? Teach him up, heal up, available. It might put him in a bit of trouble. Flashes away. Lisa gets a searing charge, trying to turn it around, but no one else to help him out, and Xiaopeng walks away. He's been very proactive in this early game. Well, we're looking at Jomong with a bit of a gold lead over Shubin. He's got a level lead as well. Jomong is currently at 5,400 over Shubin. That's quite massive. That's the extra gold that's been picked up.
I feel like he's not 5,400 gold.
That's a lot. Maybe
that feels
my
like
Chinese needs some work. Maybe that's
like,
his total gold.
That's several.
Hang on.
I'd imagine that's total gold.
Hang on, he might be soon if he picks up this kill. But missing's the one who takes it away. A big pick-off. Catching out Yui, who's not had a good game 3.
And now we're going to get this mid lane play. Rift Herald will manage to take open the structure. And then already with that bottom lane turret down, WE are starting to really put their foot down on this game. Talking about Teacher Man now picking up with the items that he wants. Even looks like going potentially towards like a Shirelia's or a Redemption next to try and help in dissuading or avoiding some of the engage tools that DMO can come in on. And just doubling down, especially with Shirelia's, on getting this big engage or running down DMO's composition.
As they've been doing so far in this game. Cloud picked up. Ultimate cooldown on an Ornn would be nice. Not an Ornn, sorry, Mordekaiser. But also, you kind of forget that Karma already has quite a low CD on her ultimate, but at this point in the game, you're not there with the cooldown reduction. Oh, 20, 30, 40. Oh, you're at 40. Okay, sorry, ignore me. It's a different day as... Oh, was clearing out the ward.
Yeah, it just gets caught out there, and it seems to be an unfortunate couple of missteps from DMO, where now at this stage I was really looking forward to seeing how the comp was going to line up, where as we talked about, you get a decent amount of poke. Their team fight is really strong as well, with Yui, Chalitza being able to set up for just simple CC lines that Twyla and Shubin can play around, but Unfortunately, that's not really going to be the case anymore, as when we get towards these next few dragons, WE, with the gold lead they have, should be in a pretty good position to engage onto DMO and not give Twila and Shubin the room they need to work with their abilities.
Give them room all game long. I'm curious, just talking about Shubin again. Last time we saw Jin, it was IE into rapid fire. That seems to be the case going again when you have your Zeal conversation about, we just did 1300.
Yeah, a lot can come off of those crits, those last auto attacks coming through from Jin, but yeah, imagine still going to be rapid fire trying to get the utility there. And, you could see him go towards something like a Storm Razor as well in that third item slot, which can still work relatively well, just in providing the slows and adding a bit more utility there. I want to see though how he wants to play around with it, because that's the beauty of the crit items at the moment, is you've actually got quite a lot of leeway on how you want to get to that 100% crit now.
Because I'm still waiting for, you know, when you've seen fast Jin, it's been like 4 Zeal items or something, like 3, and you're right, you had the Storm Razor and it's a lot of fun with fleet footwork. What's his movement speed now when he hits his crit? Let's wait. Okay, 477. We want to get to 600. Okay, that's our goal. We want to see Shubin hit 600 movement speed.
So you need to put Shubin onto WE's comp, so that he's got the karma and he's got a bunch of these little speed ups, you know?
Team. God damn.
Then you run like approach velocity as well, so then you get the stuns to come in and you get the speed up. It's just like, let's go.
You're right, Jomong should have played Jin. Wrong team, what a disappointment. Yui approaching the brush, Shubin kind of aware. Twyla's sitting in a side lane. WE have full control on this top side, and with a Karma Ashe and a Graves, the threat of sneaking a Baron always there. Not that they have to, but could be a bit of fun.
Also, Teacher Ma has finished off that redemption now, so that poke that you were talking about from DMO, not as strong as it used to be, because you can just heal that right the way back up.
Interesting change, though. Redemption's not something we normally see as a third item on Karma.
No, but I mean, look at the damage you have on WE between Morgan, Beishang, Jomong. You don't really need to go more heavily in towards AP, because usually when you have like something like a Karma, she's your main source of AP damage, so you have to go towards the Rabadons and actually provide some damage yourself. But because you've got Morgan here, he'll provide enough that you don't have to itemize as heavily. And as we talked about, enough damage dealers here that another support works quite well in this style, so it makes sense across the board.
Also, I guess when you have a lot of poke that comes through from the mid and 80 carry from DMO, Redemption's also nice to countering that a bit, right? To being able to rejuvenate.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the idea behind it. Especially when you got like Athenes plus Redemption, that double healing items, means that any sort of poke that does come through can be returned pretty quickly with Teacher Ma. As he said, that CDR coming in on the ults means that you've got a lot of splash coming in on those RQ combos. And then you just heal whoever comes back with a little bit of a lower health bar through that shield, through that Athene, through that Redemption. And WE are kind of just answering again for what DMO want to do. It's simple. It's simple.
Simple.
Yeah.
Getting towards another dragon. 40 seconds. Shubin's been sitting mid for a while. He has rapid fire now. But Jomong this whole game has been 2 levels and half an item up. That continues to be true. 30 CS the difference. And 7 kills, 23 minutes. We really slowed this pace down.
Yeah.
But getting ever so close towards that Cloud Salt. Getting towards the potential of a Baron. DMO now grouping mid as well. We'll do a bit of ARAM as Xiaopeng thinks he's found missing, but call the forward god to line up the support. The Soulflow in the backline. Shubin starts hitting away. Sets it up. Yui helps get the first kill for DMO, but now the turnaround with Jomong doing so much damage. Morgan pulls in the Death Realm as Yui goes down. Shubin's in the middle of everyone, and it looked so good for DMO until Morgan got involved and Jomong had the confidence to flash over the wall.
And that's the difference here is DMO, when they don't have the poke, they still have a lot of burst potential between the Fort Shot and Twyla. But unfortunately, they burst onto Missing, which means at that moment in time, Jomong, Teacher Man, Beishang, they can turn it around. They manage to get that play, and they will turn towards the Baron.
Oh,
and Teacher Man is just adding insult to injury, rub the salt to the wound as Xiaopeng's forced back.
Surprised Teacher Man didn't just want to go and take him on. Morgan getting low in front of Baron, but still taken away with the help of Jomong. Massive lead for WE in this third and final game. 6K in the back pocket with Teacher Ma setting up for the Dragon. And even though Xiaopeng didn't reset, he's got a bit of health back in him. We'll go watch the fight again, though.
So the thing here is that I like what they're trying to do at the beginning of this, whereas try and get Missy, try and get some poke down that we talked about. But when Chalitza pulls the trigger, I feel like it's a little bit too early. You wanted to get that poke down before this all kicked off. And when you do have that burst that kills Missy, cool, but there's nothing left really in the tank then. You're waiting on the reload timer for this Jin. You're waiting on more of this burst damage to come through from the Zoe as well. And it means that the consistent damage from Beishang and Jomong amplified with Teacher Ma is just too much to deal with.
Imagine being Shubin in that fight and just seeing a Mordekaiser flashing towards you with ult.
Yeah.
That's what happened, and then Shubin had to flash back into a really uncomfortable position. So nicely done from the top laner of WE, setting up the fight to be an outrageous success. Shubin getting bullied in this game, has to sit back mid, farm a little bit, and now to deny the Baron, which WE have for another minute and a half.
And right now, I'd prefer to see WE looking to group up and force some of these towers, because at the moment when they're super spread out like this, it's fine with like Morgan off in the side lane, but I think Beishang trying to spread out at the moment means that they don't really have enough members here to try and crack open these turrets. And even with the burst damage that Beishang can offer and follow-up engage that Beishang can offer with the ultimate is far more valuable for some of these sieges.
For now, sir, we're just waiting, man. Waiting for this, I guess, siege to happen, right? Walking forward. We're getting a bit of an eye on top lane while mid is getting bruised and battered. Also, Shubin has ulti. Have you seen a curtain call this game?
No. I've like, how do you try though?
I mean,
we've seen
you start a fight,
well.
right? Like you start a fight with the curtain call. That's kind of what we've seen in the past.
Yeah, and that's where I wanted to see that poke in the last fight come from, was like the curtain call and from the poke from Twyla. But Chalitza just pulls that trigger too early, and I think that's why the fight went so heavily WE's favored. I think it's just Chalitza getting a bit ahead of himself and not realizing kind of how this composition wants to operate. Yeah, sad times for DMO, unfortunately.
Had a good game too, but kind of back to square one. Is now in a choke. Chen across the arrow onto Xiaopeng. Collateral damage almost kills him. But survives for now while Twyla sends the poke right back. But with Baron buff, here we go.
And it was 5v4. Morgan's in this top lane working on the turret.
Yep.
So all 3 outer structures go down, and you've got 10 seconds left in this Baron, so WE won't be able to crack the base off of this push. But when you look towards the next objectives that are coming up with that Soul Point for Cloud, and then as well that Baron in just over 3 minutes, they'll be perfectly fine to back away, spend that gold they've now nicely picked up, and just reset for the fights.
I just love how confident Jomong is with Teacher Ma by his side. And this Ash 80 carry, you talk about spending gold. He'll be 3.5 items after this. Only bonus that they can say on DMO is like, hey, at least we're getting Ornn items across the board, so that gold discrepancy might not be 9k, but it's still at least 6,000, 7,000. Luden's Pulse, Molten Edge, given over to DMO, but WE now have an Infinity Edge on their Ash.
And we've now nearly got that route on Death Cap completed as well for Teacher Ma, so taking that little bit of a breather to go more utility style, but now back to trying to pack some punch through this Karma. And look, with the build that Morgan's gone for, he's going to do really well in the side lane against Chalitza. So WE have a lot of pressure that they can create with this. Morgan off in the side lane, the 4-man unit of WE still having great engage off of both the Ashe and the Leona. So realistically, it comes hard for DMO to try and answer for the plays around the map of WE.
Look how much protection there is. The Locket, the Redemption, Athene's shielding power that comes as well off the Redemption, and the Ardent Sensor that's heightened. Morgan's going to take one person out of the fight. That's in away protection. So no one dies. Plus also Zhonya's and Stopwatch. Very hard to kill WE.
And the stopwatch here as well, or at least the Zhonya, sorry, on Morgan, is if DMO fully commit to trying to kill him, he could buy time with the Death Realm, he can buy time with that stopwatch as well. And it means it's really, really difficult for DMO to finish him off fast enough before WE can try and take something else around the map. So as long as they're pushing through nice and easy and WE have pressure.
Here comes the arrow. Uh-oh, Twyla has to cleanse away straight away. Walks back in the lane, but DMO getting chunked on out. Yui absorbs a lot of pressure, but Morgan into the back line as Yui makes his escape known. But Shubin's being targeted by Beishang. Better 80 carry wins, and this one comes from the jungle as Xiaopeng tastes the wrath. of a guy with a shotgun. And Shubin about to get hit over the wall, exhausted down, not the fast when you get locked down. WE want this series to end, as Yui will be the last remnant, the last one to die. 14-3, and in under 30 minutes, WE will walk it home.
They got the minions here. They're going to be able to push this one in. 20-second death times across the board. And with those 280 carries, WE will slide on through to the Nexus.
At least DMO made WE work for it, but a 2-1, all the same. WE will move to 6-3, up the standings, and continue to be that team where we question where in the top 8 they should sit.
We'll definitely have to see where exactly they do end up going, but at least the Karma does seem to be an angle they can work with. Just have to try and at least work out some of the kinks on how to perform without Teacher Ma being there at a minute's notice. But